We're all going to go through hard times. So again, it comes back to, I say this with adversity, I say this with everything. You are going to be faced with adversity. You're going to be faced with grief, whatever the word is. You have the choice whether to retreat and run away from it. It's not going away, or you have a chance to face it, lean into the discomfort of it, allow it to work through the body, through the emotions, and then allow it to subside.
Welcome to the Going North podcast, where you will be encouraged, informed, and empowered to embrace your dreams and advance in life through authorship. I'm your host, best-selling author, certified leadership trainer, and book enthusiast Dom Brightman. Be sure to check out the goods and services from every guest, as well as some of the books from yours truly, the host. Now let the fun begin.
In the words of one of my favorite video game characters of all time, Big Smoke from GTA San Andreas, it's time to return the favor, baby, because I got a host-to-host special on the Going North podcast, baby, I'm telling you. And we got one heck of a guest for you. One of my best interviews on any podcast was with this gentleman right here, because he is one of the top 100 podcast hosts in the world. He's the dean of the University of Adversity podcast. So let's give it up for Mr. LE himself, Mr. Lance Essihos. How are you today, sir?
Oh, man, what an intro. I'm good, brother. Good. How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Yes, indeed. See, the reaction was like, wait, why are you talking about Big Smoke? Oh, shoot.
Oh, I love it, man. I love it. I love your energy. It's awesome.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. Well, it's great to have you on, man. It's where you survive 55 hours of my puns, man. You up for it?
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's do it.
Woohoo! Yes, indeed, where the pun stays on a honey bun. But enough about the puns, though. Enough about the puns. It's all about my man, the legendary Lance. So for those who've been living under 5 rocks and haven't attended the University of Adversity yet, who is the one and only Lance Essihos?
Oh, what a question. You know what, man? I have been a few different things over the years, but I like to think of myself now as somebody that takes pride in human connection. I love to inspire people, and I love to be the light in people's lives. So my podcast, University of Adversity, has allowed me to develop that and hone in on that and really just work on all the things that I never thought I needed to work on, that have allowed me to be confident and allowed me to be able to connect with people, share their stories with the world, and in hopes to inspire and help people change the way they think about challenges and adversity, kind of like what we're in right now. There's a time right now where we're going through a difficult time, but really, how do you look at it? The perspective of it is everything, right? You can either take this as something against you, play the victim role and allow it to defeat you, or you say that it's a challenge and you're going to lean into it and you're going to grow from it. So that's kind of been my message that I've been developing over the last, over a year. And it's really been solidified through the podcast. And now I feel confident and comfortable talking about this and leading and really wanting to step up and do the best I can to impact people's lives. So there's your long form answer, Tom.
Oh, don't worry, man. Don't worry. I've gotten longer answers, trust me. Believe it or not. Longer than freaking 20 prairie dogs, man. That was a good one prairie dog, man. It's all good. It's all good. Man, that's all another unit of measurement, prairie dogs. My goodness. But yeah. It's not. Oh, man. But yeah, man, you're definitely right, though. And it's great that you actually started that podcast to really not only help others, but also to help yourself in the process. And podcasting is actually one of the best tools for personal development nowadays.
That's true. It really is. It's important because yeah, there's just so many people talking about different things, and there's so many avenues that you can go and learn from. So yeah, I agree with you. It's a great tool.
That's right, man. That's right. The Arm and Hammer, baby. So, what inspired the name University of Adversity, man?
I had originally really liked the word adversity. And when I was going through, a lot of different things in my life, challenges with losing loved ones and inner struggles and battles and all that stuff, that word kept popping up to me. And I wanted to use that word as something to describe my story. And when it came time to create the podcast, it was just non-negotiable for me that I needed that word in the title of it. I played around with a few different things, and University of Adversity just played perfectly. The sound and everything, and that's kind of how it evolved into that name, and I've had a lot of luck, I think, with the show because of the name and because of the branding. I think people hear it and they like it. So I think it's helped me with getting guests. And that's my theory anyways, because it was one thing that I was like really proud of was the name of the show and the way it is. So I was just kind of like, all right, I think this thing is the thing, So yeah. And it just sort of, since we started, the branding has changed, and it really, the logo and everything, and it really stands for something, and I really feel it's close to my heart. So I love it, man, and I'm really proud of it. It's something that there's not been many things in my life that I've been really proud of that I've done, and this is one of them that I really truly am. So yeah, that's it's been a fun journey so far.
That's right, fun in the bun, man, and definitely your branding. I mean, it was already great when you started off with it. I always was a fan of it, but now seeing it where the logos and the video clips and the audiogram has gotten even crisper, man. So you're always improving and getting better, man. And
Thank you.
I'm seeing it, and you're getting better, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate it. I had a lot of fun when you came on the show too.
Oh, yes, indeed. That's usually the goal. Make it fun for everyone.
Yeah, for sure, man.
That's right, because
sure.
we're all on this bun together, man. The bun called Earth.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that the truth? Yeah.
Yes, indeed, man. So when I listened to some part of your story and learned a bit about you, I learned that we both actually went through similar things. Maybe not the aspirations to be in NHL, but definitely in the grief category. We both had to go with the eventual day with natural order of losing both of our fathers, man. So what's probably been the top lesson you learned from grief, man? Because there may be folks who are grieving out there right now, especially with this virus going on. I've lost a couple extra family members in these past couple weeks, man. So there's probably been some lessons that grief has taught you. Any lessons or anything you want to share that's helped you to deal with that grief for those who may be grieving?
Yeah. The lesson I can give you that's coming to me would be, it's okay. It's okay to grieve, because grieving is a process in itself. A lot of people, when something bad happens, they lose somebody, or there's some sort of loss or whatever that may be, they feel the need to fight it or run away from it and either medicate it or whatever that is. And then the last thing they want to do is feel it. And I think the real important part of grief is that we allow ourselves to feel it. It's okay to feel bad. It's okay. Like if you lose somebody, it's all right. It's normal to feel upset. It's normal to cry. It's normal. Be okay with that and sit in that as long as it takes to let it pass through. Because the longer you avoid it and mask it with drugs, alcohol, sex, or whatever it is you do, it's just going to sit there and it's going to linger until you deal with it. And when you deal with it and you nip it in the bud early, and you allow yourself to feel the emotion that you feel, it will subside and it will move on. So grief is part of life. It's just as important as anything. We're all going to lose the people we love. We're all going to go through hard times. So again, it comes back to, I say this with adversity, I say this with everything. You are going to be faced with adversity. You're going to be faced with grief, whatever the word is. You have the choice whether to retreat and run away from it. It's not going away, or you have a chance to face it, lean into the discomfort of it, allow it to work through the body, through the emotions, and then allow it to subside. That is going to be the best way to deal with grief. It's okay. Accept it. It's part of life. I know it's easier said than done, but when we get comfortable with knowing that these hard times are part of the journey of life, and we accept it, and we just accept the moment for what it is, that it's nor good nor bad, but part of the journey, it becomes easier to deal with these hard situations. And that's what I did in my own life, and I didn't realize it. When I lost my dad, I lost my brother. At first, I would be inclined to go and drink because I'm going to cover it up. But then it just gets that much worse. You're going to have to face it. But when you allow yourself to go through it, it doesn't have the power over you. It doesn't, it doesn't have to, it's not trying to, like, you've dealt with it. And I'm not saying sit with it forever, but I'm saying sit with it and then move on. But you have to know that there's a certain amount of time that you need to sit with it and go through it. But when that time is finished, you have to be able to let go, because if you keep going back and forth, you'll drive yourself crazy. That's why it's important in the moment to feel it and allow it to take its course on what needs to happen. So that's my advice that I just feel coming to me for grief. And I feel that if you allow yourself to lean into that discomfort, you may cry, you may break down, but I promise you, you'll be stronger for it once it passes.
That's right. That's right. Strong as 8-pack abs, man. That's right indeed. Solid advice right there. And it's so true. It's like we all just have to really take that time to actually sit and deal with our issues and not try to cover them up with blankets or something even worse, an actual alcohol addiction, to try to break that or just to hide the pain, because it's like kind of like with the whole University of Adversity. It's something you have to actually go through and actually deal with. And it's better to actually go through it than to just start and just never finish through it.
Funny because sometimes when I talk about it, it sinks in more to me. Like, it's when you tell somebody or you teach somebody, you actually grasp the concept more. And while I was explaining that, I actually had just more realization on like where I didn't do that enough in my own life, and how important that is for people to be okay with it, right? And because we're so conditioned that weakness is, if you share your emotions or you cry or you go through this or that, that's weakness. But that's actually strength, you know? Like facing your grief, facing your emotions, your demons, and allowing them yourself to feel, that's strength, you know? Like, it doesn't get enough praise like that. People that are able to show those things are the ones who are actually really becoming stronger.
Yes, indeed, man. And it's so true. And actually really does take strength to do that, because a lot of folks, they don't want to get that strength. It's kind of like the whole gym thing. It's like the process of getting the bodies we want and to extend our youth as much as we want. The process of it, we may hate the process, but after a while, it's really going to hurt if you don't do it. It's going to hurt more if you actually don't go to the gym or don't work out in a way. So, like with this, if you don't work through that, then it's basically almost a waste of time.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's right, man. My man's delivering that solid rock brick solid content, baby. That's right. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So since my man is no rookie podcasting host, man, what's your advice to new podcasters out there or aspiring podcasters to jump in while the fire is hot and try to make their own podcast to survive through the pod feeding?
Well, first would be start now, right? Don't wait. If you have the call, make it happen. Is it easy? No. Understand that, like anything, it's going to take work. And what I would really recommend is having a plan. Go into this with the expectation that you're going to do this for a while. Don't look at it as like a quick 3 months, I'm going to become 100 million downloads. That's not how it works. This is the compound effect. This is creating content that's going to be out forever. So I would go into it. If you're not going to do it for 5 years, I wouldn't bother. Unless you just want to do it as a project and you don't care about growing your listeners. If you want to do it as a way to just record what you're doing, that's great. But kind of have a plan. What are your goals with the show? If your goals of the show is to have a legitimate podcast and to grow it and with listeners and have all of that, the number one factor is to be consistent. You got to have consistency. You got to show up each week, many times you want to do it, but you got to do it and you commit to it. And people depend on that. That is the reason people fail, is that they underestimate the work each episode goes into, because you got to edit. You got to put in the show notes. You got to do social media content. There's a lot of pieces that, if you want people to see your show, that you have to do. So people underestimate that. So they get lost in the overwhelm and they stop doing it because they don't have the time. So I would suggest having a plan, hiring a team that can help you if you're really serious about getting this thing out consistently, or if you have, the time, do it, but have a plan. Invest in a good mic, invest in a setup that allows you to be comfortable. That's minor stuff, right? That's all easy stuff, microphone, all that. But you'd be surprised how many people don't start because they don't have a mic, right? I would just say, if it's something that is calling you, I would do it, but I would just be realistic at planning it out, because if you want it to grow, it's going to take some time. The best podcasters in the world that have millions and millions of downloads have been doing it for like 8 or 10 years. So if you do anything consistently for 5 years, you will be successful, but people aren't willing to do that. So that would be my advice. When I started, I hired somebody and I eventually created what I paid for, because I know that people need it. I know that people don't have the time or the resources, or their team's busy, but they want to have a podcast. So I created that for people because I needed that. I would be hopeless if I had to do it myself, because my strengths are talking to people, not editing. So that's kind of where I'm at with it, right? There's certain things people invest in. There's certain things they don't. If you want to amplify your message and you want to build trust and more authority in your space, a podcast is absolutely important as a marketing tool and to add value and build a new audience.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's how you put the mic up, baby. That's what I'm talking about, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, man, because it can be hard in the beginning, man, especially if you try to start out on your own. I remember my first time starting out with the editing. Oh, God, the hours. But, yeah, like if you have the funds to hire out the team and outsource it, like you definitely want to do that. Heck, that even the part of the strengths of talking to people versus the whole editing. It actually reminded me of Evan Carmichael, one of his YouTube videos, where he's talking about how in the early days he was doing next to everything on his own. But then when he hired folks who were actually better than him at certain skills, everything got better. The quality of all of his content got so much better, got light years better, because he just basically focused on his strengths and really just outsorted everything else. It's kind of like the classic business advice of just basically hiring your weaknesses.
That's exactly it. And I I knew that I had to do this. And just like you invest in marketing, you invest in personal branding. This is both of them. This is everything combined, compacted into one thing. People don't realize that. And not only is a podcast a great marketing tool, a great personal brand tool, but it's also great for you as a speaker. It's great for you as a communicator. It allows you to be able to learn how to listen, learn how to interview people, learn how to ask questions, learn how to articulate your sentences. I can speak way better than I used to be able to. After 180 plus episodes, I can articulate a lot better than I used to. You didn't want to hear me speak before. And it allows you to also connect with high profile people and not get intimidated. Do I get nervous before I interview, Grant Cardone or Dean Graziosi? Of course. But now I know it's possible. And not only, that's the thing I say to people, podcasting is more than just an entertainment tool. It's a personal development tool for your own skills, your confidence, and your business. That's where, even if it doesn't take off to where Joe Rogan style, you're still going to improve. You're still going to grow if you stay consistent. That's a promise.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And that's definitely a promise kept, man, because both of us know that growth happens when you're consistent with this thing, man, because it doesn't happen overnight.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. And you have to be okay with taking a while. Too many people are looking for the quick fix, the instant gratification. Too many people with everything. It's like they want to press a button and make millions. They want to do this and that so fast. It's like they're not willing to put in the work. Like, who do you think you are? Like it doesn't work like that. You don't just go to the gym once and become, a bodybuilder. You don't just go to the baseball field or the basketball court or the hockey rink, go once and think you're a pro athlete. It doesn't work like that. And it's the same with all things. In podcasting, again, it takes time. And you got to be willing to put in the time, because anything that you actually put the time in for that long is going to be something that is worthwhile, because anything worthwhile takes time. These businesses, these cheap things you see out there, oh, it's quick, everything quick. It's like, well, yeah, maybe quick. And the value of it is quick, and everything, it's quick to fall apart, right? Like it's super important to get okay with like things taking a little bit longer. Obviously, we want things to happen fast, but that is all a reflection of the work you put in, right?
Yes, indeed. Right, not left, man, because you get what you pay for, man. It's like, funny enough, that reminds me of the time my dad actually got my mom a purse from a place called South of the Border in South Carolina. It was so pretty, but it was so darn cheap. The hole fell right through it in less than 24 hours after she started wearing the darn thing.
Mm.
Yeah, this is back when they were early in a relationship. But yeah, it was. It's just stuff like that, man. It's like you always get what you pay for, and you have to be willing to truly invest in what truly is a good deal, because there's a lot of deals out there, but there's not really a lot of good deals out there, because folks are selling things like crazy. But the thing is, it's like, is it really of true value? Folks like to use the word value in it, and the word values become less valuable and less actually valuable to a lot of folks out there, because I've seen a couple of Facebook posts recently where it's like, yeah, all right, there's some of the words I hate. Influencer, then values in there. I'm like, oh God, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the words get overused for sure. Yeah. No, I know. And the value aspect of it, it's, I don't know, man. There's a lot of people that don't have much value. And a lot of people also think that it's good to create value by criticizing others and worrying about what they do. And I find that a lot on Facebook. I almost made a post about it. I'm just like, man, stop worrying about what other people are doing and focus on yourself. And I was probably going to even throw a swear word in there, but I just get tired of it. It's like, I don't have the time to even care what anyone else is doing on social media. Like why do you even care? Why do you waste your energy worrying about these people? Like there's some people that sit and complain about other people. It's like, why do you even allow your energy to go into them? They have nothing to do with you or your life. Like, why do you even waste your time? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, it's true, and it's a waste of time, and it's really making the folks out there who are really delivering stuff that works to people, making them look bad because they got burned by someone else, and
Yeah.
their walls get thrown up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, indeed, man. Yes, indeed. So, with all of these interviews so far, besides the big names like Dean Grant and his lovely wife Elena, what's probably been your top three favorite episodes thus far with your podcast? 'Cause I know you got some more great interviews cooking in the magical pot.
Oh man. Let me have a quick look at my list here while we're on here, because I need to just scan through, because there's 180, right? So
Yeah.
um
I can only imagine asking Joe Rogan this question. He'd be it's like, screw
look,
you.
there's a couple that I, obviously, um oh man, there's so many good ones. Sean Douglas recently was awesome. Marcus Aurelius Anderson was awesome. The one I released today, Dr. Kaveh Kavusi, he's an emergency medical room doctor. That one was good. Theo Fleury, an ex-NHL hockey player, is probably my favorite. Ashley DeLello, amazing story. She's with Dancing with the Stars. Ronnie Turioff, NBA champion from the Miami Heat in 2012. So he played with LeBron James and he played with Kobe in LA. His story was awesome. Yeah, there's so many. It's tough, I think those ones I'm thinking of were pretty good. Shay Rowbottom was awesome. Shay Rowbottom, the queen of LinkedIn. I think she's got 200,000 followers on LinkedIn. Man, so many, so many.
Hey, it's all good, dude. It's all good. You name more than three, so that's all. It's all good. But yeah, that's right. Sean and Shay. Yes, great signature folks, superstar folks. My man Sean kicks out great content on a daily. Love that guy.
He's awesome, man. He's awesome. And yours was great too, brother.
Oh yeah, I try. I'm kind of like the ninja. I'll be under the radar. So, with all of these interviews you've been on, man, is there a question you wish that more folks would ask you when you're being interviewed by folks?
I think I would say, if I had to do it all over again, or if I had to start from a certain age, what would I change anything? And the answer is yes. Obviously, I know that the choices I made have led me to where I am now, and I'm okay with it, and I love it, and I know that it's all part of it. But if I had to choose again, some of the choices I may have chose differently because of what I know now, especially when it comes to playing professional hockey and trying to play pro hockey. Although not making it allowed me to do so much more stuff now, like travel and do all this stuff. But I was at a point where if I would have buckled down and been smart, I could have probably made it pro now that I see how it works with mindset and dedication. And my priorities were all messed up. I didn't believe in myself. So if I could go back and give a young Lance advice, I would say that you can do anything you put your mind to, especially at that age, 19, 20. Like, literally can do anything you want. You just need to be realistic and know you have to work your ass off. You have to put everything into it. If you do that and you're consistent with work ethic, you will make it. And where I was at in skill playing hockey, it was I had it. It wasn't like I wasn't a good player. It was just a matter of me not putting in enough time and making stupid decisions, which at the time I didn't have the maturity psychologically to get through the times that I needed to and to be disciplined, and I lost my shot, which then I went into a depression with drinking and partying, and which potentially led me into the bars, which all ended up serving me. But that would be the thing that I would change, is that to play professional hockey was something I wanted to do, but I didn't do it because of my I didn't have the fortitude to get through what I needed to get through. So to answer your question, yeah, I think that would be the question that I wish that I get at. Yeah. Could I change anything? And that would be the thing. If somebody asked me that more often, I would actually like to talk about that. So there you go.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And that question is always an interesting one because some folks you ask, they'll be like, nah, I wouldn't change a thing. I like where I am. And then some folks it's like, nope, nope. I have the holy grail now. If I know where I screwed up, I'm about to change everything. Like, forget quarters, man. About to change everything. Like, this is going to be the best life ever, level 2.
Yeah. And I mean, we can always talk about, oh yeah, I would change that. Of course. Like, I mean, you lose somebody, you're like, oh, I would go back and make sure I spent more time with them. That's life though. Those are the lessons you learn, right? You don't know that at the time. And I mean, if everybody could go back and change everything, then what kind of life would we have, right? Like if everybody could be a millionaire, everybody could make the right choice to become successful and have Lamborghinis. I mean, what kind of life would we have? That's just the experience that we have. You learn from your mistakes, and they lead you to other things. And that's just one of those things that I feel was a massive fork in the road, that I chose one way and, went another. So
There you go, man. There you go. There you go, indeed, man. It is so freaking true, man. So this podcast, the University of Adversity, has in your podcast. So if it was an actual physical university, what would be 3 to 5 classes required that every student had to take to get a diploma from this university?
what a great question. I just want to say, like, what a great question. All right. First off, depending on what your religious, spiritual beliefs are, everybody's got I would recommend exploring that and understanding that how important having a spiritual practice is, connecting to whatever you believe in, whether that's God, universe, Buddha, whatever that is. I think it's important to understand and to get in tune with our bodies, to connect to that every day. That would be something that I would highly recommend. Whatever that looks like in a course, I don't know, but that would be something, spirituality 101, however you explore that. Number 2, and these all work together, is mindset. Tools to give you the ability to get through situations that are challenging, like adversity. Because at the end of the day, it's all mindset. It's all your level of belief in yourself and what you can do. If you believe in yourself, you can get through the thing. But if you don't, you'll fail. So whatever mindset, whatever drill, there's so many things you can do for mindset, but that would be a course where I'd want to dig in do all the things that I use to program my mindset, which go tie in with the spiritual practice, but gratitude goes into the mindfulness, really being grateful and saying thank you for what you already have, because that is proven to change how your body is in general, your energy of your body. So having a mindset course, doing different things to build confidence and belief in yourself would be huge. So we got spiritual practice, why a spiritual practice and how to develop that and how to connect to that. Number 2, a mindset course that allows you to go within and figure out how you can develop belief in yourself. Last one would be a holistic nutrition, and how help people realize the importance of what they put in their body is a reflection on how they're going to think and look at life. Your body is a very interesting device. And if you feed it properly with the right nutrition, it can do amazing things. It's a unique instrument, but it needs to be fine-tuned. If you're going to put bad things in your body, your body is going to communicate to your brain, and your brain is going to think things that may not be true in that situation. If somebody was to eat McDonald's before doing something that takes a lot of belief and confidence and something that really takes brain energy, and that same person was to eat something very highly nutritious, something that gives them fuel, something that gives their brain fuel, they are going to, most people, and I'm speaking for myself, you're going to look at that situation, even if it's a shitty situation, you're going to look at it differently because of the reaction of what's going on in your body. Food is medicine. What you put in your body is going to reflect on how you feel and how you think. So it has a direct correlation to your moods, your energy levels, and how you communicate to people. So I think it's so important to educate people on what works for your body to allow you to have optimal performance every day. And that looks different for everybody. But you need to experiment and find that out. And that's a process. That's eliminating foods from your diet and then reintroducing them and seeing how you feel. A lot of people are so addicted to food and certain things that when they go off it, they think the world's going to end, and they go through these addiction, these withdrawals, and they don't give themselves long enough to get through that for them to see the benefit. So just like adversity, just like we talked about, to change your body and what you're used to, it's going to be challenging, and you're going to have to face some hard mental games with yourself to get through the food addictions and cravings. But a lot of people aren't educated on that. So if you wanted to ask me the 3 courses, it would be a complete holistic nutrition, your whole body, all goes in sync with your mindset and your body. Number 2, mindset, how to develop belief. And number 3, a spiritual practice of some sort. Those 3 all go together, but to me, they're non-negotiables at the University of Adversity.
There we go, baby.
How do you like that, man?
Freaking love it, man. It's a pyramid, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Man, I just don't know where that came from, but it was like flowing to me, you know? I felt in flow when I was saying that. I felt really good when I was saying that, like things were making sense.
Because it makes perfect sense, man. You are freaking right, man. Like, dude, I think it was 6 years ago I had Popeyes, and then the day after I did Taekwondo, and I felt so much slower during the darn Taekwondo class. I'm like, oh God, I can never eat Popeyes ever again. And I stopped eating it for years after that. I'm like, oh God, no, I can't have that back in my body. And it's so true. Whatever you put in your body is what your output's going to be. And if your output is trash, well, I guess that's what you put inside yourself.
Yeah. And you know what? Some people, there's pro athletes that can operate off bad quality food. But that's not everybody. And then when you like, let's say LeBron James changed his diet a few years back and he became that much better. So if you can operate on subpar nutrition, imagine what you could do with good nutrition, right? I personally, if I'm putting crap in my body, like if I was to eat the bad foods, I am useless, man. I have to be intentional with what I eat because it literally reflects how I speak and how I feel. If I don't, and we were to have this conversation opposite, where, you know, like I said, the experiment of eating this bad food, I just can't do it. You know, like my brain doesn't operate. You know, I can't put words together. I feel depressed. It's a whole different mindset. So how am I going to look at life? I'm going to look at life as a victim because of the things I'm doing to my body. If I put good fuel in my tank, even if a bad situation comes, I'm going to go, all right, it's all right. I feel good. So this is, this is just a thing. So that's what I'm saying is like, control what you can control. Bad things will happen in life at the University of Adversity. That's what we talk about. Bad things are going to happen. So do what you can control to fill your tank so that you can take these things on the best you can, right? Because they're coming at you no matter what. Adversities, challenges, deaths. So do you want the tools to get through them or do you want to run away? That's basically the choice that we have.
Yeah, man, I choose to run away. That's right. Run away from the negative stuff.
Yeah.
Let me stop. That was corny. Yes, indeed, man. But it's so darn true, man. It's so darn true. And if you want to learn more about nutrition, check out the Lindsay Elmore episode of the University of Adversity podcast. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Because she dropped some heat in that episode on some nutrition, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, that was I forgot about that. That was a while ago. Yeah, she's good.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Good with 5 O's. Yes, indeed. Well, coming down to the question that every returning guest gets to answer, because you already answered the legendary question that most folks get the first time on this podcast. And that is, if you were to give the final keynote speech of your life and you had 90 minutes to do it, and everybody in the world had to focus on you for those 90 minutes with no smartphone, they actually had to focus on you. They couldn't be distracted. What would be the main message for those 90 minutes and the points you'd mention in that message?
I would say be yourself. Be comfortable with being yourself. Share your truth. The more you can share your story, your vulnerability, the more you'll discover your truth about who you are as a human. It's all right to have a story. It's all right to have something that's different than everybody else. I would want to say your story matters. So many people discredit their story that nobody will care, and people care. Everybody has a unique medicine that somebody else needs. That's the beautiful thing about humans, is that we all have a gift, our own personal, beautiful gift, and somebody needs that. So you need to be the medicine in other people's lives, because if you withdraw that, then you're actually robbing somebody of your gift. So by doing that, be 100% authentic and vulnerable, whatever you need to do. I know those words get thrown around a lot, and I'm tired of saying the word vulnerable. Whatever other word we can say for the word vulnerable, but you guys know what I mean. Be open, be true, show your truth, whatever that is, and allow things, your tribe, allow people to get attracted to you. Because if you don't come from truth, if you're not coming from your authentic self, then you're living a lie and you're robbing people of who you really are. And the people who really need who you are need you to be authentic. So that would be my message. Get comfortable with your story and shine that light on everybody, because somebody needs the medicine.
There we go, baby. That's right. Somebody needs the medicine, baby. And it doesn't even have to be in pill form either. Yes,
No,
indeed.
it doesn't. If you prefer syrup, they can do it in a syrup liquid form too.
That's right. My man Lance got that scissor up for you, my friends. That's right. Yes, indeed. It's purple. Let me stop. I need purple. Oh, man. Yes, indeed, man. Some solid advice, man. Great having you on, my friend. So for those who want to keep in magical contact with you, what's the best way for folks to reach out to the legendary Lance?
Yeah. So, I mean, definitely highly suggest University of Adversity podcast for your listening pleasure. Always, subscribe. You can stay on top of everything. Just a sec here. And yeah, go to my website, lanceessihos.com. You can get access to the podcast there. You can apply to be on the show if you have a powerful story, or you can join the email list, and we email the recap of the 3 episodes during the week. So we release Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Join the email list. We keep you on top so you don't miss any. And from there, you can connect with me on social media. My social media is super easy. It's Lance Essihos. Super easy. You can find me everywhere with that, or Lance W. Essihos. But you put in Lance Essihos and you'll find me.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Put on that Google searchlight and you'll find them, baby. That's right. You got that, folks. That's right. Check out his podcast if you haven't yet. Yours truly is on it. Other legendary folks are on it, and more legends to come, baby. So definitely check it out like a library book and drink it in, man. Drink it all in. Drink it in.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So any parting words to the folks still listening, man?
Love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. You guys got a great host here. It was powerful to be able to come on here, and I thank you so much for taking the time to listen to us. And I hope you got some value.
How's it going, you super special, awesome human? Since you made it to the end of this episode, it looks like you really enjoyed yourself. Since you enjoyed this episode, be sure to share it with at least 3 people in your network and tell them what you really liked about this episode.